It's wild. Because in some of our minds, we still protect the ones that didn't protect us. Ones like our parents and celebrities that led us to believe that they were people we could look up to protect us and make us stronger by looking up to them. We can't continue to protect those kind of people with our thoughts in our minds. We must reveal the reality of the situation and who they are and what they've done to us. To uncover unravel the things that have been done to this generation. We must understand what have been done to us. And to move forward, we must understand that it can no longer be dusted and swept under the rug. There has to be a plan of action. There has to be a course of rehabilitation. So today I find it very important to talk about this. A lot going on in the world with the Super Bowl just passing, the Grammys just passing, a lot happening in the world politically. I feel like it's time. I've thought about this long enough. I've went most of my life holding this in and not speaking about it. I think it's time, not for just for my sake of letting it out, but for future generations, for other people that feel the way that I do. And I'm walking around my neighborhood, so if my neighborhood hears me talking about this in the cold of winter, it's quiet as fuck out here, so people hear me. But this goes to say that I think from a young age, a lot of people, not just myself, feel pressured by society, feel pressured by progressive agendas, feel pressured by things that we see in the news or media, cartoons, TV shows, social media. All these things really affect the young mind in so many ways that it's hard to comprehend. And now that I'm older, I can understand how media in the 90s really affected me and my friends, and how media and generations before affected them. And I think it's important for me to share this. So, along with traumas that I went through with sexual abuse going on in my family, that not being talked about much until I got older, and the things that I seen in the media gave me the pressure as I got older to, for one, not really identify and understand myself. For two, it gave me the pressure to change my sexuality, my outlook, even how I looked on the outside, to make other people happy, to fit in. And as someone who was in the entertainment industry, I've got to say at a lot of times, I did feel like that I had to blend in and be more open, and even be sexually abused and groomed by the entertainment industry in ways that I didn't really understand, because I wanted attention. I wanted to be understood. Honestly, was chasing a void like most artists do, especially in the entertainment industry, to fill a void of what I didn't get from my parents and the attention I didn't receive from them and through my art community. I didn't necessarily understand this is what was happening, but I've seen it happen with a lot of artists as well. And through this, there are a lot of people in the entertainment industry that see that these people that want to be artists are some of the most vulnerable people, because they want to share their art with the world, to help the world. And they're vulnerable to attacks spiritually and different things in different ways, especially when it comes to opening up your sexuality to fit into these groups. And that goes to say that I was non-binary for a couple years of my life, and that helped me sort out who I am and who I want to be as a man in this lifetime. But it helped me identify and non-identify in different ways that were important for me in non-sexual ways. But I had to do this after years of social grooming through society and through the entertainment industry. And I had to address that myself and stand alone and figure out how I wanted to identify with myself and how I felt about my authentic self and expression. It's taken me years to figure this out. And now I finally identify as Robert, a man that's been through so much in this life. And this life isn't the only one I've existed in. My soul has seen many things, but I want to embrace who I am in this life and what I've been through and the journey that I'm about to embark on, understanding this. And I hope this helps others see, maybe from my understanding and my sharing. You have a blessed day. The other day I spoke about this, and I'm going to stitch that part into this conversation. And this goes into a little bit deeper of that conversation, how I spoke on my childhood traumas. I spoke on how I was groomed and how the entertainment industry even groomed me after my childhood, and explaining how this has affected me from the programming I received as a child on TV and in the music industry that allowed me to believe that it was okay and that the only way I was going to be successful or famous or be a big name in this world was to bend my gender and bend my sexuality. And there are a lot of people that feel this way. And people could go and say it must have been what you went through as a child, grooming, that allowed that to happen. That's one part of it. And to go deeper into it is exactly why a lot of these childhood celebrities are manipulated at a young age, because it perverts their mind. It makes them in such a hurt mental space to where they allow the sickness to continue because it normalizes it in their mind. And that's why you see that in the entertainment world. And being someone who was affected in Ohio by physical and sexual abuse because of my uncle, and being in foster homes that I was put in, where they starved some of us kids, they beat us and sexually abused us in these foster homes. There are a lot of cases where this happens in foster homes and child protective services across America. I know personally for a fact this happens a lot in Ohio, and there are a lot of blind eyes turn to this. And to the greater problem that's going into this world that everybody sees is the Epstein files. Well, there are a lot of adults, a lot of parents that sat by idly while media brainwashed us, while they as parents gave us little to no attention to see what we were watching on TV and actually care about what was programming our minds. A lot of our parents have been complacent in the harm that have been done to children for 10, 20, 40, 50, 60 years. This has been going on for generations in my family and many other families within America and even other countries. But I'm speaking to these problems specifically more in America, and maybe other countries relate to these issues that I'm speaking on. But sexual abuse started out when my grandfather got back from World War II in Germany. As an American soldier, he came back sexually abusing his daughters, his sons, and he came back with a Jewish wife that hated all of his American kids. So for years, his wife pretty much resented me and his grandkids, his other grandkids. My mom and her family wondered why this was for years. And I honestly understand after years that this woman was conflicting in her own ways, that she came from a different country. But I think in a way she tried to protect our family by keeping us away from our grandpa, by being moody, by being grumpy. She was a Jewish woman that I don't know if she read the Talmud or not, but I know that she was hateful and mean towards my grandpa's American children. And her Jewish children were ones that my grandpa spoiled and gave all these things. As I seen as a child, I felt left out, that I didn't get to go on these family vacations like my grandpa's new married and family got to. And a lot of my grandpa's blood children and grandchildren didn't get to go on these vacations as well. Well, come to find out after years, my grandpa was sexually abusing some of those Jewish children. This is an American man that brought a Jewish family over here to America. I don't know what kind of dealings he had in World War II and how deep his involvement was over there. But I know that he came back sexually abusing all of his children, his wife's Jewish children, maybe even grandchildren. It goes deep. This has been going on for a very long time. And this has been in Ohio, most of this that I speak on. It's got to change. It really has. And there are a lot of people who are invested in the interest of children being harmed, to the point where they're so harmed and hurt that they become slaves to the entertainment system, to politics, to whatever. And I was one of those people that was affected deeply by these things. And it's got to change. Children must be the priority of our future, or we will never prevail. Finally understand more than ever, I don't need to be angry at those who oppressed me or held me back. for they fed my flame. They weren't my oppressors. They were my suggesters. They suggested what I didn't want. They fed my flame for what I wanted to create differently. And everything that's about to come to fruition is an example of that. Of every time that anybody tried to hold me down, they only fed my flame. They poured gasoline on everybody who appreciated me and supported me through this growth. I appreciate you also fed my flame. Thank you so much for your support. Truly means the world.